Warrior, I was thinking about something, and that is crime. The American public has such a fascination with crime. Crime podcasts, crime shows, crime everything. Everybody is kind of a sleuth in their own way. At least it seems like that. There's a crime show coming to Radio City. I still call it Radio City Music Hall. I think it's called Radio City right now. But in New York City, where I live, where the Warriors home base, and they are going to be featuring a very popular podcast host who does a crime series. No names. I just don't feel like giving names. And I heard the place is selling out. Now, I also heard another podcaster who does a crime show, I'll call it a show, was just paid millions upon millions of dollars because a company bought out her podcast. Okay, I want everybody to make money. But this fascination with crime. And of course, we have the internet, which gives us headlines every single day of horrendous crimes right in our own communities. But here's where I want to connect this thread that's been sort of eating at me. The crime of childhood is under attack. I don't know how much more blatant I have to be, and others. Why is this allowed? This is the biggest crime ever. All of these crimes against kids. We had those open borders. Listen, the borders were always known for sex and labor trafficking, but not to the extent of the last administration, who just said, come on in. Nobody was doing anything. It appeared that way. And upwards of 1 million kids, from what I heard, unaccompanied minors, flooded into the United States. For all we know, it could be 2 million kids. We don't really know. There's no transparency. There's no real studies and stats. Where are all these kids? It's not good enough that I hear. We're finding them. We're going to find every single child. It's not good enough that we hear. We found 30,000 of them. That's not good enough. Even in the low end, if we talk 500,000 kids, these are kids. So whatever you think about the border, this, that, doesn't matter. Kids. Again, crimes against children, crimes against childhood. And if they indeed did find 30,000 kids, what did they do with them? Because I don't know anybody that putting them with reliable sponsors into homes. What did they do to them? Because certainly, and I know we don't want to get into they came here illegally, whatever. Again, they're minors, right? They can't be sent back to those countries that use and abuse them. So many mothers did willingly, from those poor countries, send their children here thinking they could have a better life because that's what they heard. They heard the streets are paved with gold. They heard they're going to get free housing. They'll be put in schools because their kids will be taken care of. When you work, because in those countries, those children work from the time they can stand up. Everybody in the family works. So if you're working and literally making maybe $3 a week, that mother's going to want, or that father, that child to have a better life. You would want it and I would want it too, despite all of the horror and chaos going on. So I have so many questions. Why? Why did I just post something that came out in Time magazine about Mark Zuckerberg, which we've known about because we've had multiple congressional hearings. We have parents whose children have been harmed from online Meta, which is Facebook and Instagram, WhatsApp. I almost can't get the words out. It is so frustrating. It is so upsetting. And Time is revealing just now today, but we knew from the whistleblowers, that the team at Meta was directed at all costs. You keep going because the idea is getting those eyeballs, getting those kids, getting those advertisers. So not only did they lie to all of us and our children, and there's no transparency. There's no safety net. I don't care. Words are cheap. Oh, yes, we're doing everything in our power. Kids, we're at the forefront. You walk like I've walked with the parents in New York City and across our country, holding up the signs of their children's faces on their t-shirt, on their buttons, that they pin on their clothes and purses and bags, and have to do it and are loud and adamant. They don't want other parents to go through this. Why is Mark Zuckerberg and Meta allowed? Again, time just put this out at no cost. We're going for the gold. It doesn't matter. Kids are collateral damage. There is no regulation. This is the only business, the internet. No regulation. Why are these crimes allowed against our children? Why? And now we have AI, artificial intelligence. The crimes are piling up as I sit here and speak to you. But why? Why is childhood allowed to be under attack? Because we talk about crime, whether it's, I don't know, on the streets and you know what I'm talking about. If we could take all of that collective crime fascination and everybody getting in on crime and talking about crime and did you see this crime and posting videos of horrible things happening on New York subways because they get clicks and likes instead of stepping in to help somebody, and that's iffy too because we saw what happened to Daniel Penny. But recently there was a video of a pregnant mom with her little boy in Chicago, I believe, and little kids, I think they were like 10 and 11, beating on the mom. Beating and the son holding on, trying to protect her. Where do kids learn this anger? So not only are our children, their childhoods being stolen, crimes against kids are now encouraged and able. They're committing crimes. We don't talk about this enough. Child-on-child crimes. And it's not just a kid punching a kid in the face or a family show. Horrendous crimes against other children. I'll leave it to your imagination. It's probably worse than your imagination. But we do talk about, carjackings and things like that, but the crime of stealing of our children's childhoods we're overlooking. If we could take all of this crime and have it focus on our kids, right? Whether it's the internet, whether it is, emphasis on empowering our kids. Why are kids committing at age 8, 9, 10? These horrific crimes. Again, we're a child or a family program. I'm not going to lay things out for you. I'm just not going to fight with the algorithms online, okay? Where are they learning this? Where are they seeing this? They're learning it at home. Let's be real. They're learning it online. But to see that video, I'm tortured by it, of kids beating up a pregnant mom and smacking her in the face and punching at her and the child and things happening in the subways and other crimes we hear about. Recently, a 9, he's now 10-year-old boy, was in court. He was 9 at the time, dragging a 5-year-old into some woods with another little girl, and they did horrific things to her for hours. And this child got to go home. They said he'll be monitored at home. Where did he learn how to do? Too horrific to say here. Those things to a child with another little girl. What happened to the days if we see somebody getting hurt, we recoil, we want to help them, or we yell out, stop? It's like more, right? But every day children are being brought across borders just in our United States, being trafficked from state to state, because what the traffickers do, the criminals, the pimps, they don't keep somebody, right at home in New York, for instance, my city, maybe for a day or two, but they disorient and they bring throughout the country. You might stay a week or two here, a week or two there, constant turmoil, chaos. But there's a crisis of child safety. And at the same time, we have Silicon Valley, for shorthand, marketing AI and administration all in on AI. Tech people we work with, bipartisan. I don't hear a lot of buzz about it, but I'm going to tell you the truth, are horrified at what's going on right now. Many people, right, left, up, down, coming together to discuss this is what we do. And how can we hold them off? How can we make them realize crimes against children? Wake up, everybody. Who's protecting the child? Well, we are, because we work on it 24/7, 365. We stand with law enforcement, parents, the parents who need help, and every advocate. There are a lot of good people out there willing to call this what it is, and we declare this a national emergency, crimes against our children. First of all, there are laws that exist. They're not being enforced. Why is this allowed to happen? Why are we surrendering our kids? Our natural instinct is protecting our kids. There's no neutral ground anymore. This has become not only a national emergency crisis, one of a moral crisis as well. And I'm not really a preacher. I'm not, but I think it's time to start preaching. Our youth, our future American adults, our future American leaders. And so I ask everybody listening to this to share these words, adapt them to your own words, but why do we have laws if we're not enforcing them? Why are we allowing all this trafficking, exploitation, cyberbullying, the Mark Zuckerbergs, the Sam Altmans, all of them? I use them, but X to Snap for kids to buy drugs. Why? We must raise our voices. We must do better. We must work harder. And if that means you just share this video, if that means it's just you in your own homework with your child, talk to your children if you're a grandparent, go into the schools and ask what curriculum is being taught, make sure you know. Things are not easy these days. This is not, 70s, 80s, 90s, where I think we had it a bit easier. This is full on war against our children. So please honor our warriors hashtag of Community Creates Change. We are going to work harder, share more with you. There just aren't enough hours in the day because I am out running around doing things, but this is crunch time. This is also holiday season. So as we enter that, we want to make sure every child has a toy. We want to make sure everybody, my husband and I, part of the WABC family here in New York Radio, which is not only New York, almost 200 stations across the world. And we were part of community event giving away 10,000 turkeys today in New York. 10,000 with the Police Athletic League. That should be splashed all over the news. Maybe you can't give away 10,000 turkeys, but maybe you can get together in your neighborhood and take up a collection and get a couple of turkeys and give them out to people. I was just caught up with a friend of mine. I'm going to name her here. I think it's okay. Jan Edwards, Paving the Way Foundation out of Florida. Great ally, great colleague, great warrior, great friend. Completely passionate, committed. We caught up. She was telling me what she did yesterday in Florida. And it's the same sort of thing, gift baskets and leaving food for people and baking, Christmas cookies and community. And our kids are seeking this. Our kids are seeking this. So get it together. Let's start the holiday season in this realm of protecting kids. I don't know what else we have to say. And pressing always on our elected representatives to do the right thing. Right now we have KOSA, K-O-S-A, the Kids Online Safety Act, stalled because Speaker Mike Johnson, stalling it, just needs to be brought to a vote, stalling. And all it says is duty of care, that these big tech companies step up. And on their end, they put every protection from their end to help us keep our kids safe. Why is it on the parents and kids? We have so many studies that show the effects of the internet on children. And now we have AI. We got a stalling of the Kids Online Safety Act, the best piece of legislation that has already been watered down. We're going into December. What's going on? Why won't Congress step up? Give us something to help parents and kids. Big tech. AI. So what does that mean? As I told a group today, that means we don't give up the fight. We don't give in. I will keep my nose in Washington. I will keep my nose across our country in everything, support, help, wherever I can help. But we must do it at the community level. That is where we affect the most change, the most immediate change at the community level. Join me. Honor that hashtag Community Creates Change. Let us have a great holiday season. Let us remember, we're collecting. I'm not very blatant about it. Toys, toiletries, anything you want to send the warriors. Just go to our website, lynswarriors.org. You'll see the address. We're so appreciative. help us. Help yourself. You'll feel so good. Everybody can and must do something. Start in your own home. Start with yourself. Really think about this. Why, with all this fascination with crime and everybody having crime shows and everybody having crime podcasts and crime on television and on streaming, and there are a couple, there's On Patrol that focuses on missing kids. There are a few shows that do. Very few, actually. Can you imagine if we took all of this collectively and put it on? The missing kids. I'm still talking about 2,300 missing American kids every day, including sex trafficked, labor trafficked, familial disputes. Runaway children are missing children. Everybody should get that through their heads. They're not running away. And, I get those people fight. Well, most of them come back. Any child missing, a minor, is a missing child. Some kids have to run away. It's unbearable at home. There's beatings. There's psychological damage. They're kicked out. And they figure they're better on the streets. They'll fend for themselves. And we know what happens there. I see it. I live by the Port Authority bus terminal here in New York City. I can walk by there and see a guy or a woman. We have a lot of women involved in this now, in the shadows, just waiting for that teen who might pop out of the Port Authority, the backpack on their back, and kind of get out, because I've seen them look around. That's a signal. One of these creeps approaches them. Hey, you need some help? What are you looking for? Well, yeah, I just got here from, this is an example, I just got here from Pennsylvania. I'm not sure. I want to get a hamburger. And the person will say, oh, okay, there's a great little place around the corner. You want me to show you? And the child will go with them, because children are trusting, even teens, especially if you're feeling vulnerable. You're in a big city, right? New York's a big city, overwhelming. And they may go around the corner and disappear, basically kidnapped, or they may go around the corner and this person's very nice to them and does, show them a hamburger and talks to them and bonds with them and builds the trust. That could go on for a couple of days. Hey, you need a place to sleep? I know a place. They're fine. They're okay. 2-3 days later, they're thrown into trafficking or thrown into the back of a car or a van, because I've heard these stories over and over again, and driven to another state. They don't even know where they're going. Or they're plied with drugs and alcohol to keep them complacent and confused. Why aren't we all the time talking about this? I'm angry. You should be angry too. These are our beautiful, precious kids. We got to love them and love all kids. And with that, I'm signing off. Think about this. Why are crimes against our children even allowed? In the spirit of the holiday season, let's all step it up as much as we can. Join us. When you wake up each and every day, do one thing, one kind sharing or passing it on or holding a door for somebody, smiling at somebody. There are things that don't cost any money at all. Or always join us at the Warriors, lynswarriors.org. But remember, each and every day, the older I get, the more I want all of you to follow me. Wake up and be a warrior.